how I've been saying there's nothing more important to me than us freeing you from Bareth's bonds? Well, I meant that. I did. But there's this other thing I need to see about. On the way, like. I was gonna tell you. I'm glad you see it that way. This thing with the gods holding your soul for ransom, we're still gonna take care of that. Right after. This woman, well, love's not the right word, but she was something to me once, back in Gilded Vale. After the legacy ended, all I could think about was how to repair what the gods had done. To me, that meant seeing about making Aethasians feel safe in their own homes. That's how I found the night market. After a while of that, I got to thinking about the days just after the war, when we all stopped feeling safe in the first place. Mostly I thought of the woman I couldn't help, who had to leave her home in the dead of night carrying a little baby that had no soul. Last I saw her, she was going to New Hayamar. Went looking for her there, only to find that she'd left a long time ago. Anyway, I don't expect you to understand, but I gotta know she ended up all right. Yeah, that's something. Coming out of Deerwood during that time. I mentioned the baby she had when I knew her. That was a boy, too. I never found out what happened to him. But with the Hollowborn, he didn't have to ask. Guess he got a brother, though. No, but I don't see a way to let this go. Least a way's not now. Last time I saw Alava, we got friendly. Now she's got a son. Nothing personal, but I don't know if there will be an after. Even though you may be the only one I wouldn't bet against. I followed you once when there was something you had to do to put your soul at ease. You went through a lot, but we did it. Now I'm asking you to let me see to mine.
Ventre, a moment. I saw you speak to my dear amico Degnos, so I thought to myself, why, Telfor, you must meet him too. Degnos is an associate of mine. His success is important to me, as it impacts my own. That is good to hear. So rare it is that I am glad of a stranger's interference. Would you like an escort to Queensbereth, Ventre? You never know what rough types may be about, and I would hate to see you waylaid. Were I a more fragile man, I might have found offense in your vulgar accusations. A gracious offer, we accept. Per Guano, let us be off.
Greetings, and welcome to my home. For what do you come to my villa?
Is he going to do this every time?
There you are. And what kept you? Why should I wait so long for Rikuhu's messenger? Or have you come as Bareth's usher? The foreigners twist even our gods. Should you not be a dwarf? Akira, I have not met one before. Nor will I again, I think. But you are here to take me away, are you not? Well, I refuse to go. Never will I move from this place until justice is done. I follow Magrin's way. Yet sickness took me before my time. I died alone and without honors. It must be put right. My body cannot be left here to rot, forgotten. I feel it there like an itch. I have been many things, and in performing my duties, I brought honor to my caste and to my kin. A sea captain, a great explorer, trusted advisor to the Queen herself. Now, that is before I left the sea for the mountains to make maps and guide others. Chief Navigator, that is what I made of myself. I can see nothing in this place of death but distant lights. But I feel I must be close to where I died. I have not taken one step since the darkness came. The sickness, days of it, lying in my own filth as the disease withered me. I passed from wakefulness to sleep with every breath. But I knew at once when it was over. Of course. Some kind of mistake was made, and now Magrin will put it right. I thank you. Please, search my home. My body cannot be far. Have you found it? Akira, I hope I have not rotted away. Yes. To think, a Mutaru of the Kahanga tribe left to die alone and forgotten. Unthinkable. In life, I would have faced any challenge. Now you are my champion. Magrin smiles upon your deeds. Take my body to the Temple of Magrin in the Sacred Stair. There is a great fire there that burns eternally. Burn my body there, so that it may be dedicated to Magrin in death. I cannot pass from this life until all is in order. You are a blessing. I would complain that you arrived late, but no matter.
Each obstacle is a challenge we must answer. These are whetstones that sharpen us into fine blades. Muhai? Do you know what you do? This woman you carry, she cannot receive such rights. You risk the Queen's anger. Muhai has broken with Wahana. The Queen has forbade that any should have contact with her. Akira? She would be banished to the Undercity if not for her sickness. And now that has finished her.
The sharing of resources among the tribe. For what do we let the Mutaru rule us, if not to dispense Wahana in fairness?
A group of the Wapua came to seek Muhai's counsel, for she was known as a great navigator. Muhai was of the Aweki before she came to Neketaka. The Aweki and Wapua were enemies for many years, before Queen Onekaza's time. Muhai misled the hunting party, and they were lost. All of us are Kahanga now. To harm Wapua is to harm Aweki. As Muhai turned her back upon her kin, so we were commanded to turn ours upon her. The Queen would have us join our tribes into one raised fist. She could not let Muhai's crime stand. There are those who kill by sword and those who kill by cunning. To the dead, it makes no difference. I say it was done for the good of our people. The traitors, they make war upon themselves. Each dousing another's flame, they are reduced to embers.
And I say your queen is a shrewd leader. You should consider yourselves fortunate.
So too did she act on her own, against her own people. She does not deserve the honor of walking with the gods. All of us, if we allow old rivalries to split us once again. Muhai is not blameless in this. Come, give me the body. I will bury her beyond the great city walls. It is the best that I can do. You are not of the Kahanga tribe. For what do you do this? And I as well. Muhai has brought great sorrow upon herself. I will do as promised. Thank you, outsider. The Wapua have their justice, and the Queen's law stands. You have done the right thing.
I hear your talk. Who has turned your heart against me? The priest? Has he forgotten who we were? Never before would a member of the Awiki have been left to die alone. I upheld my tribe's honor, and for that I was abandoned. Left to waste away, to hobble around my home with only maps for company. Now I will be buried like a secret, never to know Magrin's favor. Bereth will claim you in time, and I will be here, Watcher. I wait for you on this side.
He smells one touched by the great eel, does Barati. You are a man who sits across a fire with death, Akira. Tangaloa, the eel who digests the dead. You are most adept at feeding it, I say. For glutting mighty Tangaloa and hurling foes into their next life, Barati can offer payment. Coins for feeding hungry gods. Akira? Rewarding those who appease the great eel. This is Barati's cause. May the beasts of the Dreaming Lands never know famine. Tangaloa rolls a hungry eye toward Dichila, a Valian captain who scouts for luminous Adra in sacred lands. Akira, Tangaloa knew it would be so. Dichila sails her Voyager Alicio around the waters south of Nikitaka. The great eel hungers for her soul.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
You speak as if I could command the tides. While you are casting your blame in a wide net, why not look to our Kahanga allies? We do not share their talent for shaping water.
I say our guest forgets himself.
Brother, stand down. You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us. An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen. Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves. This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
Ak, I know this one. His parlor tricks frightened 10 years of every sailor in Queen's Birth.
We assembled to discuss the darkening of Hasongo, one of Rawatai's colonies. Watcher, it seems you have the floor.
Huh. What sailor's tale is this?
There's no sane explanation for what's been happening. You keep waiting for one, it'll be too late.
Does tilling the soils of the Eastern Reach drive all men mad? You sound as crazy as the Dawnstar Dreamers.
Have you not heard the rumors, Karu? An Adra Colossus marching across the sea. Sailor tales, but credible ones.
How came a watcher from half the world away to be involved in these happenings? Enlighten the court. The Lady of Doors must have great confidence in you. Tracking down a god who stands as tall as a mountain, a fisherman with poor eyesight could do this. My priests will trip over their feet to interpret his divine plan. Watcher, can you cut through the din and tell for what he comes to the Deadfire? How resourceful of you. The Isles are studded with enough luminous Adra to bankroll an economy. I believe our course is clear. We will send the Watcher to Hisongo. Set sail to the west of Nekataka. I would tell you to keep a weather eye out for a lighthouse, but the God of Light did not appreciate competition. Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you. She believes herself entitled to my ear, I say.
Only that Hasongo is a Rawatayan outpost. It would be useful for the Watcher to take one of ours along.
Ma'am.
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer. Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
Ak, perfito. Do you mean to stop Eothas by shooting him? Seri Pelagina will go with the Watcher. Show him how the Republic's handled things.
Your Excellency, Palagina Messerai has been banished? She has been seen in Queen's Berth. I can have a report to headquarters.
You should feel no obligation to take on additional crew. The choice is yours.
Say the word and I'll shoot the tip off a green boy's nose.
You're making a mistake, Watcher. In times like these, trustworthy allies are the most valuable asset of all.
Calm down, Nero. I'm sure you'll get one of your spies in place eventually. In the meantime, Watcher, I hope you'll meet me in the Brass Citadel. There's more for us to discuss among friendlier company.
I believe we are finished here. Aruihi? Aren't we popular? Take care at Hisongo. The Deadfire was overfull before Aethys blundered in. Your allies will use you toward any end. Do not give your trust lightly.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else. Your coming is a favorable omen already. You happen by a time when our rivals bicker and tear at each other's throats. Bringing Ngati's Chosen on your trek up the mountain. It does not take a priest to see how the gods send us an outsider to dig under the skin of our enemies. Save your manners for my sister. Kohopa fashioned me for the arena, not the court. I will not paddle around the island. My sister wants to know if you are as useful as you are disruptive. She trusts me to judge this. You did not come this far to serve the crown, I say. But sailing is an expensive hobby. Loyal service can keep your galley stocked. Nekataka is a city of friends, I say. We exchange so much between districts. Even my sister's advisors dine at the officers' lounge and indulge at the wild mare. Here in Serpent's Crown, I can guarantee safety, but cavorting with outsiders, Akira, that is open water. Tekehu, I must remind you to be vigilant, even though you will ignore my advice.
My prince, wild mares could not keep me from the wild mare, but I will remember your words.
A helpful warning, Herald of Berith, from one friend to another. Ikera, to patch a hull or stitch a sail is costly when supplies come from distant islands. The city has honest work for those in need, I say, and insists that everyone carry a heavy purse. I am Onikaza's shield. For a time, let it suffice that we speak with the same authority. After the sorry display we have put on, you have every right to be curious. Have on then. The trading companies beat their chests and howl at each other. Business and conquest speak louder than hospitality. If I was the Hazanui, I would think twice before barking that a tribe as wealthy and ruthless as the Valians destroyed my lighthouse. It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe. I am not the first to say it, but Nekataka has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Nekataka tests our traditions, I say. What man or woman of the Isles does not? Our ancestors built this place. We are the hermit crab who occupies a fallen shell. It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit. Akira, as the largest and most prosperous of the Deadfire tribes, the Kahanga have some authority to speak for the others. I say Onikaza and I are large stones in a tide pool, standing tall as the water rises to our necks. My sister has mastered the diplomat's tongue, and I am foolish to give her frustrations a loud voice. But Akira, I pray every day that Ngati tests the outsiders against her tallest waves and longest serpents.
The ocean is a few monsters short since the Armada showed up. I think we passed your fish god's trial.
Quite so, Maya. We agree on much, I say. The prosperity of the Huana, our burden to appease the gods. In the trading companies, Onikaza sees Worika testing us, weighing who deserves the Isles. I see Ngate sending krakens of gold and iron against our ship, but arming us with a single harpoon. The gods will judge us by our persistence and our grace before foes. While you are in Nekataka, maybe you are interested in making yourself useful. Enjoy your stay in Nekataka.
I know exactly what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew? My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice. This whole campaign is a risk-benefit analysis. The Navy knows you're a gamble, and they're factoring in all potential losses. Rawatai is here to do some good work, since the Huana can't seem to do it themselves. Maybe just try and stay out of our way. Then I look forward to seeing how long it takes before you find yourself in someone's back pocket. Oh, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks. Ishi, come.
That's a good-looking bird. Hey, Birdie. Hey, Birdie.
Takes practice before he'll listen to you properly, but that's a good start. Did your friend suffer a head wound? Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question. You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made. A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it? I've never heard such agreeable terms of surrender. But then again, I've only served under ruthless iron braggarts. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours. Stranger things have happened at sea, believe me. But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain. I've got some answers. Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Funny how the gods toss things together. Kana came back from the Deerwood with a head full of ideas about Rauatai's expansion. Getting out from under the academics suited him. I never knew he could be so political. More than his sister ever could be. You clearly had some sway on his opinions, more than I ever did. Wish you had told Kana to give up on the poetry. He's got no ear for it. No? As his sister, I'm supposed to catalog his missteps. I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there. Well, my parents came from the Deadfire. I'm getting a taste of my roots. After they immigrated to Rauatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achievement of the old country, I guess. So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction in Takoa. We were also curiosities. Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. Kana thought it was hilarious. You're telling me. Growing up in the Ranganui's shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and lots of folk from stranger parts than these. I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you to judge who spent their time better. I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was a few years before enlisting with the Navy. As a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the warbirds. Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Been inseparable ever since. Uh-oh. That's his "I'm hungry and you're wasting my time" face. Better step back, Captain.
I see you pulled Ngati's chosen from the guild hall. Akira, but have you pried any secrets from the gullet yet? Maya, I hope you do not judge our fair city too harshly.
What? Look, keep your business where it belongs. With the captain.
Undercroft. A darker, more fetid layer of Nekataka, I say. Onikaza and I are the mind and heart of the city, but the bowels, these we cannot reach. What say? Did Ngati's chosen learn anything from the voyage below?
My prince, I have always known those who pray for Ngati's favor, but only now do I see those who depend on it.
Akira, I say that a feather of Amira's wisdom drifted down to find you. At least Delva's Row is a stable target. The crown has time to decide the next steps. What say? You hit upon my curiosity. Speak on. You are quick to come to their defense, but the Raparu must recall their place in society. If the black market will expend its resources toward the Raparu, then I say they have bought an uneasy truce. Delva's Row is safe, for now. Be sure that I do not regret this. To Kehu, I say that no one wanted to hear your suspicions confirmed.
Akira, me least of all, my prince.
When it comes to the dignity of the guild, the crown can compromise nothing. Onikaza will see their leadership disciplined, I say. Akira, and if we enjoyed less interesting times, I say she would. Onikaza and I both expect more from the guild, I say. She will not be pleased. Akira, but at least you returned to me in one piece. You are not the first agent I sent to the gullet, but you are the first to return. I say I would feel safe anywhere with Rauatai's sharpest weapon in my arsenal.
If you're trying to flatter me, stop taking notes from my brother the poet.
I cannot say that I desire to send you to worse places than the gullet, but... Akira, my apologies. Does the name Ukaizo mean anything to you? Fable? No. History, I say. Ukaizo was the home of the Huana before cataclysm and destruction wiped the island from the Deadfire. That is the story. Story or no, I make no secret that we search for Ukaizo. I do not share this lightly, I say.
Please, speak on. If it looks like I'm taking notes, it's because I am.
Should I leave this in the hands of someone I trust instead? Kira, I should hope so. Our tribes are spread across many isles, but it is Ukaizo which binds us. Ukaizo, and the knowledge that we must return. To that end, a local cartographer secured a lead. A breadcrumb to a breadcrumb, I say. I sent an expedition to Matario Kozi, one of the Sanctuary Isles. They were to retrieve evidence of our lost homeland. They have yet to return. They were sites where our ancestors grouped in terms of crisis, constants in changing seas. You have the cartographer Atepo to thank. He wanders the Western Shrine if you would know more. The Sanctuary Isles give comfort and guidance to sailors on the long journey home. I am hoping the island can remember its purpose and return us to the home we lost. A question for those with years to gather reeds and scribe their thoughts. It might be that someone or something on the island does not wish to be found. In better times than these, I would have been happy to oblige. The trading companies would not have thought to look for Matario Kozi, but now they are vultures to carrion. I do not doubt that our rivals race for the same thing, all while we fall behind. Ikira, then you are ready to depart? Naturally, I say, my sister remembers her friends. I remember her enemies. To Kehu, I trust you are going? I want the tribes to know that Ngati's chosen stood among those who threw open the gates of Ukaizo.
I make no promises of dirtying my hands in some fetid jungle, but I do not protest a calm voyage.
Before you go,
That did seem like too nice a way to end it.
the expedition, I have reason to believe they will not be returning to Nekataka. We found this at the palace doorstep, cut from the robe of the expedition leader. One mystery heaped on another, I say. If you learn in your travels, I hope you will tell me. The crown has grown too accustomed to warnings, I say. Kira, that is something, I say. Take care if you alight on Matario Kozi. My fear is that the island is sanctuary no more. Prepare yourself for a hard voyage northeast of Nekataka. Matario Kozi is nestled in the Kua Rokuhu Islands, in the midst of a landmass that resembles a storm, like the fall of Ukaizo locked in time.
Don't mind me as I take down those coordinates.
Certain death it is, then.
A Tepu, drawer of maps. I have nothing to sell unless you are needing something else. What I discovered remains to be seen. The Sanctuary Isles were thought to be lost beneath the waves. If I stumbled upon one, I can think of worse finds to credit my name. Our ancestors marked off specific islands across Deadfire as rallying points in case a great misfortune split up the tribes. Even they could not have guessed how important the Isles would become. Some thousands of years ago, volcanoes, storms, and quakes shook the archipelago. Any one of those do happen, but never with such ferocity or all at once. The Huana survived by taking shelter on the Sanctuary Isles to save our society, and not just any one tribe. Since those days, we have not found any of the old Sanctuary Isles. Ngati took some beneath the waves, taking whole tribes with her. Others were lost to time and forgetfulness. I am told that the Wahaki are protective toward the Isles, but that is their business. I was surveying the waters around an atoll when a storm dragged my ship off course. The waters were unknown to me. When a green fleck appeared in my spyglass, I unfurled my sail. The shore twisted around itself, confusing even this old navigator until I found myself at the center. I did not make it far up the beach before I spotted signs of habitation. Marking my coordinates and orienting myself by the evening sky, I made for Neketaka to tell the crown of my findings. Understand, the Deadfire was broken. The lives lost could not be counted, and more has been forgotten than may ever be remembered. Imagine how much history we lost in a single year, much less the millennia that followed. Whatever our people hoped for themselves, we may never know if we got it right or wrong. Death. I did not mean to frighten you. These islands have known great tragedy, and millennia have passed in cheerless silence. Should you land on a sanctuary isle, do not expect to find welcome. If we must. There is not a Juana in all of the Deadfire who does not take to the open water hoping to catch a glimpse of the lost Ukaizo. If I could walk the beaches of our ancestors, take a fleeting glimpse of what they left behind, mine would be a life well lived. The same thing we all hope for, answers to the long silence that precedes our history. Who we were could tell us who we are. But if I am being selfish, maps, charts. Our ancestors were keen explorers, and a roll of their parchment could teach us more than what we have gathered in the last century.
What do you need of me? Well? I suppose it is. Are you familiar with the shield bearers of St. Elka? We are a paladin order. Word of our order travels far then. Good. I am the son of a disgraced noble family. My father and brothers were executed for treason when I was a boy. Rightfully so, I must add. And my mother, sister, and I were thrown out on the street. All we had to our names was a trunk full of heirlooms. One of them was this suit of armor, which belonged to my eldest brother. Now I endeavor to live up to its promise and redeem my family's honor. That's the long and short of it, really. Well, you would need to become a shield bearer yourself to really learn it all, but I suppose I can teach you a thing or two as we stand here. The privilege will run you 3,000 copper, however. My thanks.